We are live. Hello, everyone.
Period.
Welcome to The Show Must Go On line. Today's guest is Marshall Ware Mabry IV. How are you doing today?
I am incredible. I am powerfully well. We'll say that. How are you?
I'm lovely. I'm so happy to be chatting with you. It is, it's so funny when you see someone. I think the first time we met was at the TEDx Broadway. And you were up on that stage, and I'm like, this is a person I want to know.
What a time.
What a time indeed. So I feel like it's a good place to just start from the beginning, a very good place to start. And what is your origin story? What got you into theater and performing in the first place?
Oh, okay. That's a weird story. How do I come at it? So growing up, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So like the South, the South does what it does, and what we do most is church, right? So like the first show I did was a church musical called Angels. And like at this point, I was not the best child. I was not the person you see before you today. So why they would cast me as an angel, I will never be able to tell you, but that was my gig. And I got into things, and they just wanted to find something that I could like be in and excel at. And we've gone through all these programs, and we tried football and taekwondo and all these, just soccer and all these beautiful things, and nothing was really hitting the way I needed it to hit. And I saw James Monroe befriend like me, and I was like, oh, cool, it's cute, it's whatever. And you sit with it and you let it marinate in your spirit and your little soul. And you go, oh, you brown, I'm brown. You round, I'm round. You funny, I'm funny. And I was like, okay, all right, maybe this is it. And then I ended up doing, I gone through some other places, and like I did shows, and I started figuring out what I wanted to do. And I ended up, like, my first big production was playing Shang in Mulan Jr.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, I'll make a man out of you. Black guy saves China. Hashtag Black Shang. Hashtag blank. And that was like my gig. The next year, I did Fiddler on the Roof and Blazer Wolf. We were out here killing the game. And I was like, okay. Then it became a thing for me. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then, more shows came, and I was like, all right, I'm a theater kid now.
Yeah. Wow. What an origin story.
I believe the words I would use are the ghetto. But yeah.
It's so great to hear like James Monroe Iglehart, who I love so much and is such a talent. Like, it just goes to show how representation matters in like every aspect, right? That it's not just like the color of your skin or your sexual orientation or like how you look in so many different ways, right? Like seeing yourself represented is so powerful, and it inspires so many people. And like James is so good at that.
Yeah.
So did you see him in Hamilton or Freestyle Love Supreme?
Okay. So that's okay. That's a story. So I'll start at the beginning with James. So I was homeschooled. My little sister has narcolepsy. It's a really like extreme form of narcolepsy. So it was easier for both of us to be homeschooled. And my mom made me start a blog. And she was a mommy blogger at the time. So we would get tickets to all the like Broadway and Atlanta shows, right? And I started writing reviews, and I became known around town for writing reviews. I was the kid that would come in and just like love the show, great reviews. Like, that was my gig. And because of that, I got to go to Broadway Con. And I went, and it was like, oh, Oh, okay. So we get to Broadway Con, right? And they send you this thing and they're like, hey, they send you like a list of people that you could interview.
Yes.
Cool. Fill it out. I get there and they're like, unfortunately, we couldn't give you interviews. And I was crushed,
Yeah.
destroyed, like distraught. I'm sitting there ready to cry in the middle of the Jacob Javits. My mom was like, okay. And my mom is the greatest person on this planet. She's the greatest person alive. She is the reason why I'm able to do half the things I'm able to do. My mother is the GOAT. So we sit there and she's like, okay, you can either be sad about it or you can do something about it and make some shake. My mother and I walked around the Jacob Javits Convention Center with a phone, a dongle, a microphone connected to the phone, and we're just walking around interviewing people. So at this point in the day, it's like midday. I've interviewed like Ariana DeBose, Spencer Liff, Ari Groover, all these people before James's panel, right? So we get to James's panel, and I'm sitting there, and he comes off stage, and this is the first time I've ever seen him in person. I mean, it's James. It's my idol. I was freaking out, right? So I'm just sitting there with my microphone, and my mom was like, okay, go up there. So we waited because I was a punk. I was. And I waited like 30 minutes because, James will sit and talk to anybody for however long. He really will. So I sit there and I was like, hey, hey, man, I'm Marshall. I really enjoy your work. Can I interview you? And like, I still post a video every like 3 months just to remind myself. But it's just him. And he's like, yo, this is MWMIB Speaks. I am James Monroe Iglehart. This is Marshall, who is afraid to tell people his name because I think he's a little nervous right now. But this kid, and he like in that moment, he changed my life. So like after that, we done like a show at Carnegie Hall together. And then I got to work with him at another intensive. And then it just kept going. So for my TED Talk, we were like, okay, here's the thing. I'm one of those people that like, I'm good until it's game time and then I'm freaking out. It's nerd power, exactly. So like I'm freaking out, right? And I was like, Mom, I gotta bring this down somehow. So she allows me to buy a ticket to Aladdin. So I buy a ticket for Aladdin and I come back and we're at Junior's. And like I'm just like chowing on mashed potatoes, eating up good, right? And then I hear James talking because we're eating outside, and I hear him talking as he's walking to Freestyle of Supreme. So I'm just, chowing down, eating, not worried about nothing in the world. I'm going to see Aladdin. I'm going to have me an Arabian Night. I have what I need, right? And I hear him, and I was like, James. And he's like, oh, what's up, baby? We talk, and he's like, oh, so you can go see my old show, but you can't come see me in my new one. Cool. And he walks away. And I'm like, what you not going to do, Tony Winner, James Monroe, Iglehart, is throw shade at me like that out here in the middle of the city. I didn't need that. I'm 17. I'm doing a TED Talk tomorrow. What I don't need is that. And we bought tickets for Freestyle Love Supreme that night for that 10 o'clock show. So I literally saw Aladdin, walked over from Aladdin with the 3 Genie covers and the Jafar cover. We all walked together. Mind you, Aladdin, Dream Show, Genie, Dream Roll, like stood on the stage, held the lamp, did all the things, wanted to cry, walked over with these men that like, I would steal their jobs if I could. And then we go see Freestyle Love Supreme on Disney night. So like the cast of Frozen and The Lion King and Aladdin are all there. And I was just like, yeah, like this is the Broadway treat, man. I was really thankful. So like James he's the GOAT for me. I mean, he even like sent in a video to congratulate me on graduating. Like he's just king. Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad we brought up JMI and you had that whole story because beautiful chef's kiss story of just like the mentorship of Broadway and like when people like James, we always love to joke and he loves to, when I won a Tony and all of that. But he cares so much and it's really cool. It's so cool to hear stories like that. And Sis, who I had on earlier on the series, like, love me some Sis. She's amazing, and those shirts and everything. Like,
I just need Sis to know who I am so that we can be best friends.
yes, we're putting this out into the universe. It's happening.
I just need it. I just need it.
I see it. I envision this future of the two of you hanging out, and then James just casually walking by the theater, and it's like, it's happening.
Listen, I think me and Sis, we would be a dynamic duo.
Yes.
Sunny and Cher could never.
That blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
Big fan.
We'd be booked. We'd be booked.
And speaking of loving all of this, I see y'all commenting. Hello, Andy and Baking Mama.
That's
hello.
my mom. Thanks, Mom. I did go backstage at Hamilton too. I did. I saw him as Lafayette Jefferson, and like, you know how like, Hamilton's like, it's sad, but like it don't get sad till like 2 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
I heard bum ba-da-da-dum bum bum, and I saw him come out for and every day while slaves were being slaughtered and carted away, and I was just like, and like the lady next to me didn't understand why it was legitimately some random lady, and then like Jillian and Mike from the Hamill cast who I'd already known, so they knew I was going. So like it was a time. It was a time.
Yeah. Yo, I get it. It's emotional. It just like it hits you, and especially like this James story just continues. So like it would be emotional for a lot of people seeing Hamilton anyway, and then it's like, you know, you see him and it's just like boom, click, boom.
Like for me, I was like, if you're not a 6'4" beautiful man named Daveed Diggs, you're not playing Lafayette Jefferson. So to see James come out with his shiny head and his little freckles, I was like, oh, period. Oh, okay, that we all go eat.
You know, it's so funny because I've been lucky enough to see Hamilton a few times, and James is definitely the one I've seen most in person. And then seeing Daveed like on the Hamilton, like the film, I was like, oh, okay. Like they're just giving us different energies. Like they are rocking it in so many different styles. And that's kind of like the beauty of live theater, is that like the person who originates the role is amazing and like has crafted it. But then these new people come in who are also geniuses or geniuses.
Period. I like that.
I'm so proud of that.
Good night, Moon. Good night.
And this was a great interview. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
So good. I love a good pun. So okay, I'm trying to, you know, you're doing all this. Okay, I see it. Sometimes the internet connection gets a little slow, but you know what? We are here in quarantine. Things are just like roll with the punches. Yep. And instead of like freaking out, you're like, this is just how it is. Also, it is like super hot. So this nice.
You better let the moms out. You better let them breathe.
Ooh.
Period.
So I want to get into your TED Talk and how you got on that stage and talking about Shakespeare and, you know, everything. So let's hear that story.
Yeah. So when I was coming up, the first monologue I learned was Macbeth's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow quote. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow soliloquy. And I was just like 13, just tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Just like not knowing what I was doing, right? But that was sort of where I started. And I took that same soliloquy to another program, and they were like, oh, you don't need to worry about that. You'll do shows like Raising the Sun, Fences. Like, that's where you'll stay. I was like, okay, cool. At that point, didn't find any issue with it. And it was a moment where I was like being told to stay at my place, essentially. And, you know, you don't really feel those things when you're younger, and you just go, okay, cool, next mission or next adventure. And I ended up adapting Midsummer's Night Dream twice in the same summer with two different companies. And like one of them was this like it was wild. Like we did Into the Woods, but like Brandy and Whitney style. So we were like, Into the Woods, it's time to go. And like we had this weird pop rock jukebox musical medley where like during the play within the play with like Pyramus and Thisbe when they die, like we came out doing this like Gregorian chant for I Want It That Way. And we was like, who you are, my fire. And it was wild. We sang Wrecking Ball. It was a time. So that was one. And then the second time we did it, we took out some of the rhymes for the fairies and we were writing our own. And I was like, pause. This is poetry. And, I'd gone into it because I'd been conditioned to hate it. I was like, oh, this isn't a place for me. So why am I doing this? But now I'm in it and I'm taking apart these words and I'm digging deeper and I'm like, what? So I started to write about it. And it was really just going to be a post on my website. Then it became a play and I was like, okay, whatever it is. And I had to give it a name. And I was like, okay, Black Boys and Shakespeare. And I was like, well, there's more. The intersectionality of Black boys and Shakespeare. Cool. I left it alone. Let it sit. Let it speak to me, right? August Wilson says, if you write something down, let it speak to you. There's no need to force it. Just let it speak to you. So I get a message on February 13th from like my theater mother, right? And she's like, hey, it was on Playbill. Hey, TEDx Broadway's looking for people. Maybe you should submit, right? Whatever, cool. And this is also coming at the time where I'm auditioning for colleges. So I'm already in the swing of filming pre-screens and self-tapes for my agent and doing all the things. So I was like, okay, this is just another self-tape. I'm going to submit my 2 paragraphs about what intersectionality is and shoot my little video going, hey, I'm Marshall. I was wearing this shirt actually. Hey, I'm Marshall. I want to talk about da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Thank you, right? Send those videos in, don't hear anything. Which is like, if you're an actor, that's the gig.
Yeah.
Sometimes you send things off, don't hear anything, life goes on. It is what it is. So I'm prepping for college auditions and I get a call and they're like, hey, we're interested in your talk. So I heard interested and I was like, okay, bet, it's a callback. So all I need to do is show up and show out, right?
Yeah.
And we talk more, and it's starting to sound like this isn't really a callback, but an offer. And I said, oh, okay. Well, here we go. And, you get to the point where I knew at this point some of the other people that were announced or there was buzz about being at TEDx Broadway. And I was like, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm 17. I can't even like vote or get a lottery ticket. I don't really know what you want me to do a TED talk on. We watched those in school. Like I was like, and I hit that point where I didn't believe I was supposed to be a part of it. I was like Viola Davis, Brian Tyree Henry, Denzel Washington, Sterling K. Brown, all these people, Winston Duke, all these people had come through, Yale MFA and Juilliard, and they had the classical training. Danielle Brooks, Kenny Leon, Grantham Coleman, they could all give this same talk. So why was I chosen? And I had to, sit with that and really question myself. And also spirituality is big to me. So I was praying a lot and going, okay, why this 17-year-old? Why not, James Earl Jones? And why not all these people? And I talked to my mom and I talked to God and, I talked to Jim, who's the founder of TEDx Broadway, the co-founder. And I was like, I just need to know. And he puts me in contact with one of the other speakers. If you were there, she came out in this beautiful red dress, just looking like Africa, smelling like the motherland. Yes. Shake Obalu, I love that woman to the day I die. Okay, we'll get to her. But, she talked to me and she essentially, she talked about being a vessel for this message. And yeah, I mean, yes, it could have been other people. It could have been doctors at the most prestigious universities in the country, but it was me.
Yeah.
And since it was me, I had to take it very seriously and know that there and very intentionally. Um, so I said, okay, I'm the vessel for this. I know that at 17 years old, Tamir Rice, we were the same age when he was killed. Emmett Till didn't make it this long. Trayvon Martin died that year. Trayvon Martin actually was killed 6 days after my 10th birthday. So I've been living with him since I turned 10 years old. These kids didn't have the opportunity to get to where you are. So I need to find a way to speak for them, to show kids like me that were told that this was not their place, that their voices had value in this work. And beyond that, it made the work even richer than it was before.
Yeah.
And to also honor the people that had fought before me, to honor the people, because Othello has been white men in blackface literally up to the 80s, the 1980s. The last recorded version of an actor in blackface is Sir Anthony Hopkins.
That's crazy.
He's still around. He's still acting. He's still working. So I went, okay, let's write the thing. And I wrote it, and like my mom didn't hear it till it came out my mouth on that stage. And I remember she didn't hear it. I didn't let her. And it was changing up to the moment where I went on stage. So, you know, I wake up that next morning after Freestyle Love Supreme, and I'm, you know, freaking out, and I put on my custom red suit. We go outside. We go take a picture at the Hamilton Marquee. Boom, boom. We go to New World Stages, and, you know, I get there, and I'm up there with Laura Haywood, who was one of the people that inspired me to even start interviewing people in the first place. So I was freaking out. And Eva Price, Arvin, like all these people are there, and I'm like, I am 17. Ha! Cool. All right. And I remember the moments before I went up on stage, and, you know, my heart's beating out of my chest, and I prayed that regardless of what I did, of what I could possibly do as Marshall, 17 years old, as a human, besides what I could possibly do as me, that this message would come through me, and that this divine power, whatever you believe in, would help me to show this image as clearly as it could be. I started thinking of it as a camera, right? And I had this message. The flash is on, the camera's on, everything is ready. But I'm the lens cap. So everything is ready to go. The picture is ready to be taken. But it can't be taken because I'm in the way and I'm blocking whatever this message is. So I had to learn how to remove myself from the situation so that this picture could be as clear as it needed to be, to change perspectives, to save lives, to honor the lives of those that didn't make it this far. So I prayed that prayer. And I said, bet, let's do the thing. And I went out there, and like I remember every moment of it. I went out there, and, you know, I talked to the audience, and I prayed somebody would talk back to me. I really did. I didn't want to be up there alone. I prayed somebody would. You can see it in the video. I prayed somebody would talk back to me, and after I got that first laugh, I was like, cool, let's do this. And yeah, I mean, I did the thing, and I made sure to speak the names of Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Emmett Till, and Mike Brown specifically, and to call their spirits into the room, to let them know that they are valued and that I honor their lives and honor everything that they could have been. And yeah, you know, I came off stage, and the first person I saw was Oshake, and baby, she smelled like Africa. She smelled like the opening sequence of The Lion King. She smelled like the circle of life. She smelled like every bit of the motherland. She hugged me, and I was like, this is heaven. Like, I could die right now, and I would be fine. She felt, you know, Storm from the X-Men? It felt like I was being hugged by Storm from the X-Men and the Black Panther simultaneously. It was it was a cultural experience. But yeah, that's how we
Wow.
got there.
What a story. I have so many like I like to say it's like a choose your own adventure when I'm doing these interviews because there are like 3 or 5 different like angles to go from this because that's so powerful and I want to like touch on all of them. You know, to doing anything, going up on stage and talking to people like at any age, at any level of experience is terrifying, right? Like
Yeah,
even if you've done this like a million times, there's still that part of you that's like, you like look in the mirror and you're like, cool, let's go. But to do it at 17 is very impressive, right? Like, and you were chosen for a reason. I know you said all those people that maybe have more qualifications, but
yeah.
you are qualified to do it because you're passionate about it and you came up with that idea to give this speech, which makes you qualified. And having you deliver that speech was so powerful because I think, you know, it's powerful hearing it from anyone, but hearing it from someone who's young and is passionate about the future and is like, we can be the change. Like, I'm passionate about this. I've had this experience. Let's move forward. And to have that, you know, the connection with Trayvon Martin and like the timing of that, like I feel like I'm getting choked up here because that's such a powerful responsibility that you've kind of put on yourself to be like, I don't just represent myself. I represent the people that didn't make it, the people that, you know, look like me and the people, like all these things that you're saying, like that's so powerful. What does that feel like in you, knowing that it's about more than just your own performance?
I think it relieves some of the pressure a little bit
Mm-hmm.
if you open yourself up to just being the 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 lens that this vision is shown through.
Yeah.
Because you know, especially as a performer, it's easy for me to, you know, do a 2 hour warm up, sit up there and go, okay, I need to nail this double turn, I need to hit my A at the end of the number, and I need to make sure I'm giving acting beats at the end of it, right? It's really easy for me to do that and stress myself out to where I'm in the middle of my first turn, praying I get around for the second, and I'm at that note right before the big high one, and I'm like, "Argh!" And it's a lot. It releases a lot of tension and
Yeah.
anxiety when you give yourself over to the intention of the piece. When you give yourself over to the intention of serving an audience, because theater is a service industry. So once you get to the point where you can go, okay, it me already have the gig. Now I need to serve the people out there because there are people coming that need to escape from their lives. There are people coming that have never seen somebody like me on stage. There are people coming that have never seen someone that looks like them on stage, someone that looks like their mother, their brother, their auntie, their cousin, their teacher. They've never seen someone that looks the way I do in this role. So I need to serve that.
Yeah.
I could crack on my high note. I could fall out of my turn. I could forget my lines. But as long as I am serving that, I'm doing my job. So I think for me, the big thing is leading an intention, service, and honoring those that didn't make it that far. Because it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be alive. Like most people, most young people, we take it for granted, but every young black man I know, everyone from 8 years old to their late 80s, 90s, they know that at any moment they can be taken from this world. So when you have that on you,
Yeah.
when you have that sort of target on you, when you know people like Carvin Sasson have to write whole books about their life no longer mattering after, you know, who lives, who dies, who tells your story. Once I step outside of that stage door, I'm just as much of a danger to you as anybody else because all you see is my skin. You just clap for me during one last time, but I get outside and you clutch your purse. You just clap for me during Friend Like Me, but when you get outside, you cross to the other side of the street. So I think if you can take time to address that
Yeah.
and to lead in service of something bigger than you,
Yeah.
your work is only better. It's only deeper. It only means more to you. And if it means more to you, it's going to mean more to every person in the audience. So it's just like a deeper way of working. And like everything I just said, I was, it's been poured into me by, Derek Davis and Quentin Roe-Darrington and Alta Fitzgerald, all these Black men that I look up to that have just poured into me and helped me be the artist I am today. But it's really about deeper work.
Yeah. Wow. That's so powerful. And yeah, carve-ins and target practice, which I have somewhere right over here. If I can find it quickly. It is so powerful. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend y'all get this. And carve-ins came on the series early on, but hearing it, I feel like a lot of people, at least I can only speak for myself, right? Like, the word ally, right? Like, I try to be a friend, I try to be a supporter, but I've never been in your shoes, so I can't understand that feeling. And hearing those stories and hearing about, that the one last time analogy and the, you clap for me here and then you're afraid of me out the stage door. It's so hard to think about and understand that I just want to like hear more stories and try to just like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the right words, but it's about so much more. It's why saying Black Lives Matter, Black trans lives matter is so important, because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a political statement because it's just a fact. Black lives matter.
Yeah, it's a thing where also we shouldn't have to be entertainers. We shouldn't have to be, your best friend. We shouldn't have to be something of significance to you to be important. We should just be important. Right. Yeah.
Wow. And that camera, that it's so beautiful, thinking about the lens and just getting out of your own way, because I feel like I do that too, right? That you're like, everything is ready. If I just let the guest, tell their stories and I just kind of like facilitate it, right? Like I like to think of these more of conversations and interviews, because interviews feel so formal, right? Like that there's like a right or wrong answer. Whereas I just want to hear your story.
Yeah.
So I feel so lucky to be chatting with you right now, because I feel I'm very pensive about everything you've been saying.
Listen, I'm honored to be here. You're dope. I've been following. So yeah, this is dope.
Thank you, my friend. Well, this feels like a great opportunity to kind of take a break from chatting and hear a little song in your heart.
A little ditty. A little diddly do, okay. Gotta get in the performer mode. We're gonna transition. Oh my God, we're moving. Oh, so many things are happening. This lighting is terrible. Oh, I can dig it. She's very moody. Okay, she had to stand because So I changed my song 30 seconds into the interview.
I love it. A quick change, if you will.
A quick change, yes. We're not gonna talk about anything else. I'm not gonna out myself like that. So if I could find the track, delicious. This is The Impossible Dream from Metal Mantra. Yep. Here we go. If she wants to play for me. I don't think she won't.
I believe in her. You can do this. You both can.
I think that's the thing about live theater, is that you usually have an orchestra that knows how to come in when they're supposed to.
They hit their cues. A little down. Let's test this out.
That was terrifying.
It's very loud.
That was absolutely terrifying. That was one of the scariest moments of my life. Cute. Oh, bet. Yeah. Bet.
Good. A little lower, but
a little lower. How she? Bet. Here we go. Marshall's a loud girl, so bear with him. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave did not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this. That one man, scorned and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. Period.
That was so good. Thank you. Wow. Standing O. Standing O.
Oh, come on, Dress. Period.
Yes. Oh, that was amazing.
Nice.
I always feel like I do a slight awkward pause to make sure you're actually done, because I once didn't, and then they kept going. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was.
Please keep going. Keep going. Wow. There's so many aspects of it that were just so beautiful, and the deep, and then you go soft, and it's so powerful, and just, you are quite the talent.
Good night, Moon.
Yes. Angelo saying yes, all caps.
Period.
And all right, let's see. Ooh, Angelo before this said, yes, not only do we hear the beautiful messages from Marshall, but we also get to hear him sing as well. This is amazing.
Thank you. To God be the glory.
Love. We're all so lucky. So what are your dream roles that you would love to play, or have they been yet to be written and you would like to originate?
Yes, and I mean, I have roles like, I would love to play Usher in A Strange Loop. I would love to play Genie. I would love to just on somebody's stage one day. I would love a good Don Quixote in La Mancha, Bobby in Memphis. There's a lot of roles. Even on the acting end, I would love to do more August Wilson, to play Citizen Barlow, to play King Henry II, to dig into fences and play Gabriel, all these things. But I'm really interested in what will happen after this coronation, this corona break.
Yeah.
And the works. the pro-black works, the pro-fat, pro-queer,
Yep.
pro-BIPOC. I'm more interested in that work at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and all the possibilities of it, because I know so many incredible composers and playwrights working tirelessly right now.
Yep.
So I want to see what they're gonna do. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and to all of that, because it's true, there are so many great roles that are out there, but also I'm hoping that when theater does come back and safely, that it is no longer the great white way, and that we can see so much change
Say that.
on stage, behind the stage, writers room, directors, floor
Behind that
directors, like
table, all of it. Yeah.
everything, because it's, for far too long, right, for all of existence, there hasn't been equality. I remember, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's along the lines of when I saw the Broadway for Black Lives Matter, the video series, that diversity is not equality, or diversity is not equity, because
No.
just having your one diverse person on that stage,
You're a token black on the stage.
that's not, come on now. We're so much better than that. We should be.
Can you say that one more time for the people in the back? Just one more. I think they missed it.
We are so much better than this. We need Black writers, stage directors, producers,
Well,
ensemble members, like everyone on everyone on the stage. We need a leading man and lady and non-binary and everything.
speak.
Come on, y'all.
Listen, I'm thankful for E. Clayton Cornelius and Adam Hyndman and the few black producers there are, and there are more that I don't know their names, and the few black. We would love to see more black directors than the ones that already have Tonys on Broadway. Thank you. There's a lot. There's a lot. Mm-hmm.
So you touched upon this earlier in this chat, and I was just watching this Instagram series that you did where it was like my experience as going through as a theater person. You were talking about how the teachers were kind of putting you in your place and saying what you need to learn and what you don't need to learn, and the idea of the future of what you want to see. But to everyone who didn't see that video, what do you want this message to get out there for people, for the young black kid that's seeing this? What do you want directly for them to hear?
I think it was also the intention behind intersectionality. But my biggest thing is I want other black boys to understand that their voices have worth. Their voices have worth, whether it's in a classical context with a show like Troilus and Cressida, that their voices also have worth within a show like The Cake or within a show like Fences. Their voices have worth, period, across the board. And that's not just on stage, but behind the scenes as well. Because I was taught that I was valuable on stage when I was the token black, that you could put on all your advertisement, but I was not told that I could say no in a rehearsal room, that I could say that's not right, that I could say, hi, there are some things that you are missing because you don't have this perspective that I do. So my biggest thing is I want BIPOC performers to be able to leave every room safer than it was found, to make sure that their voices have worth on stage and off, and to make sure if the performers don't feel heard, that someone looks like them behind the table that will hear them. Yeah. There's something else, and it'll come back to me at some point.
Yeah. Well, if it does, just throw it out there. But that is also another aspect of why representation matters, is that people can anticipate things that you don't necessarily know could hurt you, but they're already taking care of that. They're taking care hair and makeup. They're not trying to do something that doesn't work for you. All these things. It's just crazy. And like, people trying to touch black women's hair. Are you kidding me? Get your hands
Or
away.
or directors putting you in openly racist positions and going, but I was trying to make a point.
No.
Please explain to me what the point was.
I just like.
But there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of cultural sensitivity when a creative team is all white. There's just a lack of, honestly, it's like if I blocked off 70% of my screen right, 90% of my screen right now, and I was only able to see 10%. That's exactly what happens when you have an all-white creative team. You limit yourself to the other 90% of the possibilities that could happen in your production. And indeed.
It's so
indeed.
true. And when you then reverse it and you have that diversity in all those different elements, you can feel how much better the production is, because
it's a fuller production.
So much fuller, and it's true, and it's authentic, and it just breeds this new life that you can't have when you are all white, because it just like, you don't have that background, so you just can't. Like, it's just impossible to tell that same story. So by welcoming in people whose stories it actually is, you are creating a much better production in general.
Yeah.
So I always like to give an opportunity if there are any nonprofits or charities that are doing some great work that you want to give a shout out to.
Oh, I just did a fundraiser. Honestly, truly, I'm for any organization that is about Black trans women. I want to say it was the Black Trans Women Artists Collective Fund is what we fundraised for. I'm here for every bit of it. What Sis is doing, I'm here for all of that, because Black trans women are often neglected. In Black women in general are often the most disrespected and neglected group. So then once you take a subgroup and you ostracize and even place them off more, it hurts, and there's a lot of pain in that community that isn't addressed. And there's a lot of love that should be given to these women. So yes, anything dealing with Black trans women, I am here for and will always be here for. Period. Big dot.
Beautifully said. Yeah, it's cosign, all of that. And the Okra Project, also to throw it out there.
Yes.
Doing amazing work.
Ian, all of Ian's work. Just get into it.
Yeah.
Get into it.
It's so true. So, okay, we still have a little bit of time to chat, but I wanted to make sure to do that. So what, during this quarantine, during all of the Black Lives Matter movement, where it sounds like, you know, you and a lot of people, and hopefully more people each day, are shouting to the rooftops, Black Lives Matter. So how have you been able to take some time for yourself and also try to breathe, because it can feel so heavy?
Yeah. You know, those first couple of months of quarantine, it was around the time where we hear about all these police murders. Like, there's a time for it. Every year it happens around the same time. It happens in that February to May slot. And a little bleed over into summer. But that's usually when everything comes out. And I was fine, but Ahmaud Arbery's case pushed me over. And I took like 2 weeks, and I was just depressed. Like, it had to wash over me. It's not, he was killed in something that's maybe 3 hours away from me right now, that town. So you have to, because it's really easy when everything's going, when, you know, if I'm in a show, a cabaret, I'm writing this play, I'm doing this, that, and the other, to go, oh, I'll worry about this later. So it's really easy not to feel, but being in quarantine, I had to feel.
Yeah.
So I took that time to feel. And for me, my moments of breath have been in performing and creation. You know, I've been doing this incredible reading series called the Samuel Lancaster production series with one of the people going to the Boston Conservatory. And she started this beautiful program where we've been doing readings of these traditionally white shows with diverse casts. And, there was never a time I thought I would be in August Osage County or Measure for Measure, or I started this thing called the Joy Project with some friends. I got to perform on stage with people again, and that was a big thing for me, to be able to like feel the energy in the room, to feel everyone else's hearts beating, to sweat, baby, to be on stage sweating. I missed it. I did. With the Broadway Dreams organization, and then to do that, but also be posted on Playbill singing Glory, this song that was written for us about wanting to end the constant abuse that's been happening to our bodies since we got here. So I think my moments of rest, of relaxation, and specifically joy have been in that, and also taking time to listen, to have conversations, to, I did this interview series that I'm editing right now. It's so much where, I took some time to talk to some Black Broadway performers and ask, what their lives are. There were people that, their show was guaranteed to be nominated for like 12 Tonys, people in Tina, people in Ain't Too Proud, people on Hamilton tours, and to really talk to them and ask what their lives are now and how they're finding balance without 8 shows a week. Are your lives better because of it? How has it changed? So that's where I found relaxation and a little bit of breath.
I can't wait to see these interviews whenever they get done, because who do I know how long it takes? So, take a break, breathe it out, but
it's coming. Christiane Pitts is coming next week. Christiane Pitts, Aisha Jackson, they're on the way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that, and where are we going to find this? Is this like Instagram, YouTube, both?
Oh, so it's on my website, MWMIV Speaks. It's a little quarantine interview series. I talked to Douglas Lyons. He's the last one I posted. But it's a lot of people. Like, it's so many people. Because I was just sending out DMs like, hey, I'm a fan. I would love to talk to you. You get the grind. Because usually their excuse is, hey, I got 8 shows to do this week.
Yep.
Baby, we all unemployed. So come talk to me. And it's there's so many beautiful stories being told. Yeah. So MWMIB Speaks is where all of that will be dropping soon.
Excellent. Oh, excellent. And my dog Slim over here, he's so cute, and he's my co-anchor, and sometimes he likes to say hi, and sometimes he just like runs around with the birds outside. So that's kind of up to him.
Listen, I love an audience.
He was a big fan of the song too. I could see him kind of peeking through, being like, "Ooh, what's that?"
It's spicy. It's real dark.
Yes, indeed. So I took a note earlier from something you were talking about with Shakespeare in the Park that was so powerful, seeing Danielle Brooks and Grantham and Cole Grantham. It was just like that. Oh my gosh. I saw it with my friend Kelly. We just sat there and just like let it hit us, and now it's, everyone can see it because it's on
PBS.
It's on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Like, tell me about it.
Oh, baby, what have I seen it? I've studied it. I've watched, rewinded, watched again, and did it again in one night. What? That's my jam. That Grantham Coleman deserves the world. I will say it now and forevermore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That show, can't be touched. Will never be touched.
Well, between that and your TED Talk, I really like, I will admit that I was never like the biggest Shakespeare fan, right? I thought it was like a lot of like white men and sometimes women.
It's old white talk. Why would we ever be invested in that? Ever.
And yeah, it was like, this doesn't
it's literally not for me. It was literally written not to be for me. Like it's just, Yeah.
But then when you see someone else perform it and perform it with their own take on it, that's what's so beautiful. That it's not just trying to be the white person doing it. It's no, I'm going to bring my full self, and that's going to make it even better.
When it's beyond just heightened language and there's actual intention behind it, when there's a cultural significance behind it, when you get to bring in all those things that you experience in your day-to-day behind it. Listen, Much Ado is exactly what I meant when I was talking about Black voices, BIPOC voices having value in these spaces. That show is 100% more rich. It's more rich. There's more to it. It's deeper than any production I've seen at Shakespeare's Globe, the National Theater, because there was something else. There's just a deeper layer that happens when you add color. I'm telling you. The seasoning, it was seasoned well. We'll just say it was seasoned well.
I like that. It was seasoned well. Indeed.
Seasoned well.
And if y'all haven't seen it, go you know what? Just stop this interview and just go watch it right now. That's
it'll be here. You can replay it, but go find it.
It's so true. It's so true. Are there any other pieces, whether it's like a play, a musical, or just like a TV or movie or a book that you've been listening to or watching that you want to make sure other people take in as well?
When it comes to Black excellence in the Shakespearean realm, Papa SHO played Hamlet in 2018 with the RSC, and you can find videos online, but it's him, and it's this Jean-Michel Basquiat inspired version of Hamlet, and it's beautiful. I have the box set of it. I watch it at least once a week. I really shouldn't. It's a 3-hour play, but it's brilliant. Take in Much Ado. Take in Michael R. Jackson's A Strange Loop. Douglas Lyons' Beau. Watchmen. Lovecraft Country. Anything done by Issa Rae. Anything done by Lena Waithe. Anything done by Jordan Peele. Read a book. Love a Black trans person. And dig into the Black people on Broadway beyond Audra McDonald, beyond Brian Stokes Mitchell, beyond Norm Lewis, the Christiane Pitts, the Aisha Jackson, the Noah Ricketts, the Jelani Aladdins, the Bradley Gibsons, the Alton Fitzgerald Whites, the Brandon Victor Dixons, the Quentin O'Darings. I can go on for a couple of forevers. Ahmad Simmons, all these people, because there is a wealth of knowledge and brilliance that people don't know, because we have such a stigma against understudy performers, or there's such a thing about ensemble members, when I know people like Darius Barnes and Kayla Davion and Aisha Jackson, all these beautiful people that tell incredible stories as understudies and as standbys, as Lily Coopers, the Chuck Coopers of the world. So just research. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, and check out the Ensemblists. They do a great job.
Please.
Y'all, understudies and swings are superheroes.
Superheroes. What? Covering all 3 Schuyler sisters in a 3-hour. It's a 3-hour show, and they don't really leave the stage, so knowing where you are for 3 different people and singing that high, and to be thrown on in the middle of a show sometimes, baby.
Nope. Andrew Chappelle understudying everyone.
Everybody. 6 people. Not I. Not I. My brain don't. I would crash. I would crash mid-show. I would go, I am not. And I would break.
Cannot compute.
So there would be smoke. I would just freeze. Yeah. I'd be frozen on turntable, just turning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Antoine Magic, Raymond, and Eliza Oman, who are universal swings.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine going from Broadway to a good old Chicago, to a good old tour? Stage is a different size. You're working with different people on stage. People are in different positions. It's a different type of turntable. It's a different.
The talent. Nope.
Excellence.
Yes.
Excellence.
So good. So on that note, where you mentioned your website, but where can everyone find you on all social media, and any last statements that you want to make sure people hear from you?
So on the socials, I can be found at Marshall W Mabry IV. Really anywhere. Mabry _IV on Twitter. Also taking Carvin's Lasan's book Target Practice, because and the EP. Love fully, support Black trans people. All Black lives can't matter unless you support Black trans lives. Love yourself, listen deeper, lead in service, lead intentionally. Eat some jelly beans. Right. Word. Yeah.
Yes to all of that. Love yourself, love everyone. Black trans lives matter.
That part.
Have a snack for yourself, enjoy it all. It's so good. And y'all can find me at BROADWAY Show, as you see it all across here. Chelsea Hill made this beautiful design for me. Thank you so much. And if y'all like what you see, subscribe. I know everyone's always like, yo, so like and subscribe, but it actually really helps. So if you just hit that subscribe button, that's pretty cool. And we have this cool Patreon. Just head over to patreon.com/BROADWAY Show. That money. No, but it's really, it's so cool because we have this whole community. We do weekly trivia that we're doing tonight and monthly video chats, and it's just so much fun. So much
you
fun.
Are everything. You are everything. She don't even know. You are everything.
My friend. This has been so lovely. Such a, I feel so uplifted right now. I feel so inspired to do good in the world, and you have that effect on people.
That was my freeze. That was my Zoom freeze. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, the classic Zoom freeze.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Have some jelly beans, and we'll see you at the show.
Yeah. You too.
Bye.
Bye, guys.